Alright, here we go. Let's talk a little bit about the combat itself, or the combat system. We are going to enter a combat for the first time. Every creature has a red bar, that's the health. Every creature has a white bar, that's the physical armor. And every creature has a blue bar, or nearly every creature has a blue bar, which is the magical armor. If you deplenish either physical or magical armor, you are going to have the option to crowd control a creature, which is extremely helpful. So a lot of the game will resolve around us trying to get rid of one type of armor and then basically attacking continuing to attack the creature. What we're currently seeing here is me attacking two of the hounds. They are the very first enemies, shouldn't pose a lot of an issue. We're going to precast as many spells as possible and are trying to heal us via the healing provided. So now that for this character there is no more armor, we can continue to crowd control it by knocking it down. And yeah, really, I mean, unless we miss, that fight is very, very easy. So with the first fight, we have turned on hostility with the second wolf up there. So that's the creature that we're going to take on next. And afterwards we're going to have a rather difficult fight, probably the most difficult one on the prologue overall. So, as for Divinity in general, Divinity is very, very centered around dealing damage and using the damage to your advantage. That's one of the reasons why, for instance, playing with only two characters can be a significant advantage, because one of the main benefits that you receive from having only two instead of four characters is, matter of fact, to get the Lonewolf ability on your characters. The Lonewolf ability gives you enormous amounts of extra damage and extra survivability, and the damage is really the part that counts. You gotta understand that for Divinity Original Sin 2, the development really had an exponential curve when it comes to all of the skills. What that means is, if you do have 2 points in a skill, it'll deal an amount of damage, let's say 10. If you have 10 points in that skill, it's unfortunately not dealing 50 damage, but rather around like 200. And if you even have more than that, it's exponentially growing. So I guess you get the point. Which means one of the main topics for Lonewolf is that your skill caps are twice as high, which effectively leads to the point where a properly skilled character can one-shot every single enemy within the game without using any abuse or lane tactics. Good, that's the reason why we play with 4 characters. Let's start to summon everything. The next fight is going to be intense. We're going to fight 4 guys all on our own. And I really want to make sure that we are having a chance of winning that battle. So first things first. We got all of our cooldowns ready, and there we go. We are going to enter the combat as fast as possible. We still got the rested bonus here. We got 2 totems right away, and we're trying to build up a choke point here where these guys are not going to reach us. Certainly we're not going to rush in, and we are trying to deal as much damage as possible to them right away. Two of them are significantly injured and can be crowd controlled rather easy. The other two, the Magister Swordman, to be more precise, are the opposite. They are not easy to easily crowd controlled because they have both armor and resistance, and quite frankly, they are also hitting quite hard. So what we're going to do here is I'd like to use some of the consumables. Probably have placed the totem there a little bit ambitious and overly early. Should have played it the other way around. The two guys, though, that needed to be hit are the two Magisters, taking away chipping off their magical armor. And now we are really going to like lock them in there. They need to run along either side. Let's go one step further. I'm proactively going to heal the main character because I do have the feeling that the Incarnate is going to die. So yeah, that's going to be a health over time. Character will slowly but surely be healed, and the Incarnate takes the rest of the damage, dying in the process. I was expecting that. So let's set up another Incarnate, and let's set up one more totem, shall we? I mean, if we now attack, we can get rid of his physical armor altogether. That would be helpful. And if we would attack, the Incarnate can effectively start to taunt him, but probably is going to die with the second swordsman. So instead, let's seal this one off. Still deals some damage, and so that should be fine. That's the maximum amount of damage that we can deal. Plus, he's bleeding profoundly. Even got another turn out of it. There we go. Let's seal off the whole area. Almost the whole area. Damn. That shouldn't have happened. Oh wow, he even gets a second strike off. Good. Let's hope that we're not missing this time. So we will get one attack. I was about to say, let's hope we are not going to miss. We're getting an extra action point, just in case. I'm trying to knock him down, which was successful, so he lost his turn. So therefore I don't need to drink anything. We can just end the turn and he will lose his next action. Good, there we go. First combat done. A little bit extra XP for them. Nice little shield that can help us out. Not too shabby. I think we killed one here. Yeah, not too bad. So let's take all the items that are relevant for us. Wonderful, yet another resurrection scroll. The bound tombs are worth nothing. That, however, is good. Got a shiv. And the journal. The inkpot and quill is worth something as well. Good, so we got all of the items out here. At least all of the ones that I know of. And we can now proceed. Good news, the hardest battle, in my opinion, is successfully done. So from now on it's getting easier here on the ship. Bad news, the hard part of the game is still about to come, because the ship is really just a warm-up. Act 1, which we're going to play afterwards, is probably the crux of the whole run. You will see that I'm expecting, I haven't played that mod yet, on normal tactician mode, the enemies at the beginning are relatively difficult, specifically if you're lacking the gear. So I would expect, with twice the amount of enemies, that we are going to have a hard time. And there are a couple of enemies that or a couple of fights where I currently not even have an idea how we are going to pull it off. So most likely I'm going to spec relatively defensively, and the idea really is to not walk into the death fog. That's a good idea. Hey, let's not walk into the death fog that time. Good. Selected or searched through most of the stuff. Already got a little bit of extra gold. Nothing fancy. I am thinking about, for now, using a one-hander plus the shield, because I'm really in favor of regaining some extra armor. Like, the shield is, with its 8 physical and 6 magical armor, that's really good. We should start using that. So, as for the next area, we are going to go into yet another combat. Let's prepare by getting our incarnate out. And since I'm expecting a little bit of resistance there, let's just wait for this cooldown to come back up. And since I expect a little bit of resistance, we're just eating one more food. Pumpkin soup is perfect for that. So there we go. All right, got the regeneration. There we go. Similar tactic. We're blocking and dealing damage from afar for now. Not very surprising, they are charging us. That might not have been the best idea. Oh, good, wonderful. Yep, with the extra armor we should be fine. See, and they are wasting some of the strikes even on the totems. That's very good, very helpful. So let's get them down one by one. We are going to summon yet another totem right in front of us. Yeah, and the damage with the one-hand weapon is not that much lower than the damage with the two-hand weapon. We are a little bit missing area of effect damage at the moment, but it's still fine. We got the first one down. Got a couple of attacks of opportunity in. Second one down. The other one went fully the wrong way. And we can summon yet another imp, a fresh one, with new hit points. And I think that combat is over. It's only 2 of them left. And we haven't even taken any damage, really. Yeah, like I said, the battle against the 4 soldiers is probably by far the most difficult one that you are going to find here on the ship. With summoning, everything isn't too bad. Because in that case, for instance, I can just wall off the area. And yeah, he can't do anything against it. Other than spending actions to remove it. And take some serious hits in between. There you go. Yeah, that is so over. He's not gonna come back from him from such a massive difference. Yeah, there you go. Totems OP, very good for the get-go. And that is pretty much all the fighting we are going to do here. So there's one more loot spot right up here. And as so often, nothing of importance. Too bad. Good. Still, we got a couple of items that we can sell. Now, one more thing. We do not want to waste any experience, so there is one more area that we can go. We could theoretically leave the ship right away, but that would yield us less experience. So, let's go on. Got ourselves a fire incarnate in the meantime. And there we go. So, in here, we're going to enter a battle. Just want to get 2 totems up real quick. There you go. Actually, we don't need to do much in this fight because the majority of damage is going to be done by other characters. All of the characters, the origin characters of the game, are to be found here, and they are now fighting them, so we could technically lay back. But with double spawn, I am not sure. It seems as if this here is a normal spawn and not twice the amount. And I think the author of the mod said that spawn tables cannot be modified, so he kind of manually modified all of the creatures in the fixed spawn locations, which is fair enough. There won't be that many ambushes. But it at least explains why there aren't like twice the amount of creatures here. As for the creatures in the prologue, that is really not a challenge at all. I am expecting to see much more of a challenge on the first island. I imagine the combat, specifically the first ones against the crocodiles and the frogs, is to be very, very difficult. And I'm not sure how he has managed to deal with the arena. If you're, it would be quite strange to fight twice the amount of people in the arena. The arena itself is already challenging if you do it early. Later it becomes trivial, but if you do it early, it's quite a fight. But if you fight twice the amount of enemies, well, that indeed would be interesting. Good, there we go. Like I said, not a big surprise that we're going to win this year.
Let's head above decks for some air.
Good, and that's pretty much it for the prologue. We have done it. But like I said, the hardest part is still to come. At the moment, very defensive build with our character. I think that's going to change over time. I'm happy to have to be able to find a shield that early in the game. Not sure if it was a random drop. I can't remember that I ever had a shield on the first prologue mission. But yeah. Next video will cover the beginning of Act 1, and I'm going to go over my tactic of how to approach that really difficult Act 1.